Welcome back, everybody. We're about ready to go for Icebox map number 2. XSET currently up 1-0 after an overtime affair on Haven. And the big thing before we get into Agent Select is kind of framing out how these teams very differently play map like Icebox. Really, the only constant is the fact that we're going to see Viper and we're going to see Sova. Everything else is pretty much brand new and unique from both teams' POVs.
Yeah, similar to Breeze, there's a different philosophy on whether or not you want Viper to be your solo controller or whether you want to have a second controller play alongside of her. And the reason for that is because a lot of the times, if you're an attacking team, you're likely going to be using Viper's utility at long B 99.9% of the time to, you know, get you some long B control, at least threaten the capability of getting some long B control and setting up for, you know, your wall on the B site alongside your Sova Owl drone to help you get in. But what if you want to hit the other side and you want to be able to block some angles as you come in? You know, then having that second controller is kind of what you're going to need if you want to play that way. Some teams get around that by just using sage walls and using, you know, different type of Molotov type skills to be able to clear out those corners. But some teams like to have the second controller. And, you know, 100 Thieves is that team that likes to have a second controller. Nitro will likely be playing the Viper, so that means Ethan should be picking up the Omen. And then on the opposing side, XSET usually just trusting Viper as the solo controller. They have Def as a stage to use walls to kind of maybe make up for not having those extra smokes, and everybody else just kind of falls into place. The only other thing is usually Asuna, very much a Reyna player on this map, whereas Zekken, of course, moving over to Raze, which is his main duelist.
Yeah, so we'll have double duelists coming out from XSET, double controllers, essentially 100 Thieves. That's the long and short of what you kind of expect to see here compositionally. And I think the big question is just the fact that, you know, 100 Thieves, they do play this map a little bit more uniquely than what we've seen kind of the meta swap, kind of, if you want to call it that, for Icebox. Feel like trends have occurred, mostly because we typically expect to see both Viper and Sage. We see the Sage wall become so pivotal for a lot of the offensive takes. You also mentioned the fact that it does kind of use as a way to block line of sight as you're trying to make plays through mid-map, but the post-plant security you get from something like Sage has been pretty notable. So they're trying to replicate that off of what Steel brings to the table. But one of the things I think we do have to mention is the fact that because of this double controller setup, 100 Thieves defense is really difficult to break at times, it feels like.
Yeah. The other thing that the Sage Wall allows you, as XSET's going to start on the attack, is it allows you to do those under 2 pressure plays through middle a little bit more safely and a little bit more often. So definitely gives you just a couple more options. Doesn't mean you're not going to have the Sentinel, though, which means you're not going to have lockdowns for retakes and takes. And maybe you just lack a little bit of extra information in some situations as well. And the other thing that I will say is without a jet for 100 Thieves, it makes it a lot harder to do defensive opping. Sometimes you will still see Steel playing with the defensive op, with the Killjoy, usually on the A side of the map. But it's a little bit harder to get away with stuff that Jets can, right? So that's kind of like, again, one of the sacrifices that 100 T makes to be able to play that double controller style and still wanting to have a Killjoy in play as opposed to having a Jet or something along those lines on the field.
And one of the big things we talked about with XSET yesterday was the fact that, you know, Pure had a slow first map versus Sentinels, but he really did start picking things up on Icebox in map number 2. So if he can essentially reprise that and do it again here, I feel like 100 Thieves will be in a position where there might not be an opportunity to match him, just based off the fact that, like you mentioned, the operator's not nearly as common.
If I'm remembering this correctly, is this not the agent and map that Asuna got his record on? The 48 kills.
Yeah, versus V1, yeah.
So definitely not going to come off the Reyna if that's the case. You know what I mean? So can't blame the guy.
We'll see how things unfold. It's going to be XSET on the offense first. 100 Thieves defensively. Pretty standard setup for them overall. You're going to get 2 players stacked inside of A. You've got some yellow control going over towards B from the POV of Nitro. And XSET kind of dancing with a little bit of pressure mid-map here.
They faked the under 2 wall and actually step in front of it, and they're going to split A through screens. Now, Asuna, though, able to get the read on this, does get his first attempt of asking. Aaron, though, quick to trade, gets some side control. Spike's going to go down.
I love that. All of the focus for 100 Thieves focused middle. No one is actually watching the front. So an even exchange so far. Spike planted, but Asuna quick to recover. Steel also in the mix, and that will be a very favorable kill feed for 100 Thieves. 3 for 1. Just down to Zekken, who has no utility. Comes around the corner, does find Asuna. Gets maybe an opportunity, and another, and then up top. 1v1 with Nitro, but caught on the reload. And Nitro from the high ground saves the round for 100 Thieves.
Scary one, though, I have to say. XSET made that interesting kind of faking the under 2 pressure and then just hitting A hard, while, like you said, all the focus on the Thieves was on them, you know, looking to watch for some type of orange push onto the B side. Luckily, Asuna was able to kind of pick up on it there, get a couple of big kills, and buy time for a rotation.
One enemy remaining.
Lots of credit having to get Asuna there. Maybe he's on his way to another record with the 3 kills on the first round.
Yeah, this was a little bit too close, I would say.
Not a bad attempt for second, for sure.
Yeah, not at all. There's just not enough ammunition in that classic to get through 3 straight kills.
Far spy. All the Spectres. Here we go. All right. Scrappy beginnings.
Next set. We know that they love to do this when they get a number of eliminations plus a spike plant. Will 100 Thieves be aware that you have to feel like they should be? Wall comes through. Boombot to enter. Aldrin up top. Deal. Reads 1. Turns around. Deals with Boombot. 2 players around the corner. Finds the first. Grabs the second. Job well done for Steel. Paranoia will unfortunately miss, but Aaron not going to find the kill into Nitro. So 100 Thieves hold strong with the play through mid. Just down to can find information or a kill up top. The answer no, and it's just down to BCJ 1v3.
Yeah, I mean 100 Thieves just kind of found that script, laying on the bench, read it, knew it was coming that scene, had everything ready for it. All the props in place. As Steel just teed off there. And yeah, BCJ with the Marshall. Got 1 shock dart. Does have spike, does have time. Might be able to find a fallen Spectre or something, but I mean, his chances are still so good. And yeah, that's going to be it.
Well, Asuna, great start. Has Empress through 2 rounds, so
not bad.
Keep your eye on that. 5-1 through 2.
Something just hits different about Asuna, Reyna, and Icebox. I don't know, that combo, that equation equals out to something big, it seems.
It's just unreal, man. But this is going to be a very interesting recovery now, kind of asked to XSET as the force buy does not come through successfully. This 3rd round should be cruise control here for 100 Thieves. And then going into round 4, I mean, then you have to play up against the Asuna Empress, possibly also with a Steel lockdown. That 4th round is going to be
You could
a
just
really
end that
difficult one
sentence
for
at the Asuna. That's enough of a task in itself. I mean, he's definitely just such a talented individual on those duelists. And yeah, there's not a whole lot that XSET can put to use in this round.
Oh. Asuna. Goodness. Ethan's also read there's more down low. Asuna wants to get aggressive, just on the ropes. What in the SEAL Team 6 is this? He's going to find one more, and the right click. He's going to confirm the ace. What in the heavens is that?
The only recap that needs shift is me not saying another word and our replay ops team just replaying that in slow motion.
I bet.
And back to you, Shift.
Oh my goodness, that's just stupid. Unbelievable.
Right here.
Unbelievable. I've got no words for that. I've got nothing.
That's why I didn't share any. I just let it speak for itself sometimes, you know.
Unbelievable. And Asuna is still feeling the heater. This kind of
dude. Just stop. They're already dead.
Oh my god.
If he's, I mean, I was kind of joking earlier about the whole like setting the record again, but dude, even if he doesn't hit the max kills record, he might get the most kills per rounds played ratio going.
Yeah, highest KD per map.
Yeah, I mean, he is on one right now. He's feeling it.
Unbelievable. But still an opportunity here for XSET, all things considered, for a 4v5. You've got a long lurk from Def towards A. And then the wall placement could provide an opportunity, and that's brilliant. BCJ just grabs the barrel of Steel and then wall bangs for a headshot to turn into a 4v4, but Asuna is still here. Nitro also peeking with them, and the double peek is successful to keep the numbers advantage for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, this B attack has been halted, but Def has full control of A side and is calling for that spike to rotate, knowing that the site is clear. They could get disrupted, though, if Nitro times this mid-push appropriately. It looks like the spike will at least safely make it over, and yeah, Pura will as well. 100 Thieves just content on playing the retake, knowing they have man advantage. Wall's going to go down to slow down the progression through screens, but it's immediately broken before it can be reinforced. But Viper's Spit coming down, going to make it a little bit harder on 100 Thieves to retake now.
Def sneaks away from the Lear, but doesn't fully sneak away from Nitro and Asuna. So it's down to Aaron and Pure, playing from essentially the same angle. Pure is going to make sure the backside of this Viper's Pit stays safe, trusting that Aaron can handle anything that walks in from the front. And here comes 100 Thieves on the retake attempt. Pure around the back. Oh, Aaron's not going to find the first elimination, though, but Pure does find 2. Almost a chance for the 3rd. Ethan puts him down before things got too interesting. And 100 Thieves will win this 4th round, and that puts XSET in an absolutely miserable position economically.
Indeed it does. 100 Thieves are just crushing these rounds so far. Always staying a man ahead throughout every interaction. Closing down rounds with comfort. Austin is above, you know, 2 KDA, as well as just, what, 2 KPR? I mean, guys just popping. And another low buy comes up for XSET, as you were already kind of alluding to. There are daggers available for Pure. They're going to get a couple of marshals. They did like a weird triple sniper setup yesterday as well.
Yes,
it's kind of odd. And they're going to pull it out here sort of again with Pure with the daggers. Not quite a sniper, but, you know. Nitro shutting down the long B option pretty heavily, though, at that Viper's Pit. But it seems like they're going to force through it anyway. Yeah,
it seems that way. Aldron's going to be the first thing through, but XSET have hit the brakes pretty quickly. So it looks like that integrity of the Viper's Pit will still hold strong. Meanwhile, you do have at least some poking and prodding from XSET mid-map, but it's really not allowing too much. There's so much utility being spent to clear out this Viper's Pit, and it does push Nitro back, but again, he can just walk right back in, reestablish the integrity, and now he's got help.
Yep. And it's going to be hard to, like, do a lot up close when you're banking on a couple of marshals. I mean, I honestly don't understand it. On the one hand, I get it because it can tag people and then you finish them off with the Frenzy and the Spectre, but it also makes it a lot harder for you to get entries with those when you have to play these closer quarter situations.
Oh, Nitro, so slippery around this Viper's Pit. He's right there still with him. There will be a couple eliminations here, so a chance for Zekin to punish a little bit. Hiko's shock dart well placed, finds a bit of chip damage onto Zekin. And this 1v3 is going to be pretty much just absent of any information for Zekin. He's just going to try to get a couple of kills, you have to feel like. He does have the spike, though. That is decent news.
Yeah, but running out of time and doesn't really have a way to safely plan it. Vandal out, looking to see if anyone's going to peek, but 100 Thieves too disciplined for that. They will just hold steady. Again, no way for him to plant this safely. Just trying to hunt for frags, not going to find it. Ethan silences him. Now that he's pivoted to the Omen, having a much better time of things. He's already had some impact of his own alongside Asuna. Everyone playing pretty well so far here for the 100T side of things. Def and Hiko yet to get off the board, but Hiko hasn't really been required, if we're honest, in this 5-0 lead from 100T. Back to buying, though, is going to be XSET. No operator for Pure, but plenty of rifles across the board. See what they want to come up with next. Looks like they're trying to go for something a little bit faster pace at A side. Problem is they're going to run into a stack. It almost seems. Yep.
And they're going to run into an Asuna, who does have the Empress if needed. Hiko's early recon bolt will come through. That's deleted, but it will still find some information. And as the 100's Fury will come out, Asuna is actually trying to force the issue forward. Doesn't love the look of it, and BCJ actually does convert first blood. But now Asuna in the Empress finds the first. Not going to be able to find more beyond this, but does get out of dodge, and Zekin will clear space with this showstopper. Opportunity here for XSET to get a plant.
Oh, Seal's Lurk's been caught pretty early on here by BCJ. The battle still rages on, but at least XSET know what they're up against, and they have man advantage. Emperor's still alive here for Asuna as he's looking to try to poke and prod through the upper rafters, clear out some space for his team to work in with.
BCJ needs to keep his attention flush. Zekin on the corner. Information for Asuna to convert. Gets the dismiss. Steal on the back, wins the elimination.
No way.
No way. Again? Surely not. Pure gonna find one. Has to respond to Asuna. Does. 1v1. Only 41 health for Steel. And Pure knows exactly where he's positioned. He can just wait for a toggle of the spike. Nanostorm's gonna push him back though. He can't necessarily challenge. Steel's gonna get this to halfway. Gonna try to stick. No. Bails off of it, but Pure goes to the high ground. And the clutch comes through for Pure. Well, that's technically a 1v3 to get XSET on the board.
Yeah, that was a labored one, though. Steel did such a great job on that flank. I thought he was going to get preoccupied by BCJ and Aero was going to catch him, but instead, not going to be the case. Pure matching Asuna's antics one better for a quad kill to get the victory. Even with 30 HP left, he plays it so smart in the end against Steel in the 1v1 and gets XSET on the board finally after quite the drought. Now they're going to be looking to pivot their focus early on to the long B side of things. It's going to be just Nitro here, but that Snakebite and Viper Wall going to make it tough to crack this open early.
And the pressure that we've seen from 100 Thieves throughout this play backside green has been constant. It's been almost every single round we've seen this exact same setup where you've got Nitro just looking for early point of contact. This time he's going to have a little bit of the Killjoy utility to try to keep him safe in case there is a play coming out towards yellow, but the clearance is successful. XSET has gained some room to play over towards B.
Yeah, space has been gained, so first checkbox has been marked, but they still need to make progress onto a site. They do have Def kind of watching middle from behind, and they're even kind of doubling back now as they are seeing BCJ make a bit of progress onto the A side of things from Belt. They don't like what they see at A with the Killjoy utility and with Nitro's orb. We're going to force them to take the K if they go for plant. So they will pivot back to A, and it's been left open. You know, 100 Thieves are looking to play retake there. Going to be a tough one, though. They do not have a lockdown. They don't have really any other ults other than From the Shadows. Ethan going to use it for some intel, but he doesn't really spot anything.
Oh, this is going to be 100 Thieves completely statuesque, still over towards the B site. 35 seconds. This execute, like you mentioned, probably going to be pretty free, but 100 Thieves starting to second-guess their setup just a touch, and now that the smokes and recon bolts come out, they will know that this is indeed going to be a play over towards it.
Tough retake, though, without ults.
Shock darts are decent. Second up top. Aaron lurking mid-map actually catches Nitro on the rotation. Paranoia comes through. The attempt from Rafters. Zekin could meet this. Dark cover comes out trying to deny him, but he gets elimination before the bloom comes out of the dark cover. Now Pure down low, but he gets caught out. Hiko and Ethan for two. Ethan finds a double. Not again. 100 Thieves retake looking so potent. They're already going to go for a bit of a defuse. Aaron trying to stop this with a snake bite, but Hiko's gotten this to halfway. The take still has to be good here from XSET. They needed to continue with this, but the second snake bite very well could have done it. Steel's trying to soak through it, and it looks like he will successfully do just that. Defuse confirmed. Even though Aaron does clean things up with a three-piece, 100 Thieves secure their 6th round.
Indeed, they do, relying a lot on those snake bites to get the job done. Didn't quite happen. And good read from XSET early on. They put some good B pressure on. They forced the defense back. They denied them information. They find an empty A site because of that. So all, the things are going according to plan up until Ethan and company just kind of brute force their way through. And Steel able to get the defuse just in time there. And so that's another victory for 100T. Economic reset for XSET coming to this one. Only 2 rifles and a few pistols. So looking a little bit tough.
Get out of my way.
Whew. The blades will be there, and Steel actually reads a couple of calf muscles right through the middle of the map. So that's going to be some information that there very well could be this hit coming through mid. But Zekin, are you looking to go through tube for the first time? This is something we saw XSET attempt to do versus Sentinels a couple of times. And this time they are going to commit, looks like.
Yeah, droning in. Zekin trying to find a way to maybe split this side if he can get into kitchen. But XSET are getting stuffed by some of this utility, including a dart there from Hiko. Shock dart also coming in. Pure tries to boost up top. Steel reads it like a book, though. Nitro collects the frag because of it.
The Nanostorm's going to provide enough separation to make sure that Steel can stay safe. Nitro trying to contest the flank. Finds one, grabs a second. That's 3 in the round for him. Asuna on the flank shouldn't be able to have problem with Zekin, but Nitro, how does he find the 4th and the 5th right there? I mean, they're on opposite sides of the B site. It's an absolutely brilliant ace coming out of Nitro.
Yeah, brilliant. A lot of help came in from Hiko and Steel to get him the reads he needed, but still he came with the frags when he was required, and he delivered, man. Beautiful ace, matching Asuna's of earlier. This time, though, it's on a full buy round when it comes to Nitro's perspective, and just... I like how he goes for the battle yellow, knowing that BCJ is out of the equation for a moment as he's finishing off the spike plant, and yeah, just pivoting around, swirling, able to get some big frags. He's been so huge at locking down this B area. Asuna kind of is his counterpart on the A side, and yeah, it is definitely time for a timeout if you're XSET. Things are really off-putting so far from their attack. Def yet to get off the board. It's been a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely has been. It's just, one of those things that you look at XSET and a couple of these moments, how many times have we said the words, well, that can't happen, or no way this happens again? It's just the individual performances for 100 Thieves so far have worked them through a number of these gun rounds. I mean, the ace initially for Asuna, the ace that last round for Nitro, but even Ethan, we didn't really mention it, but on that retake of the A site, he found 2 kills that he should not have been allowed to find, coming in just dry. His utility was spent to make sure that Asuna's got an angle to come on through to help this retake, and Ethan finds 2 to recover, and 100 Thieves have really thrived on the retake so far in situations where they don't even have the numbers.
I mean, they've been thriving in every situation so far.
True.
There's not been a situation they haven't really thrived in. Just absolutely crushing it right now.
Well, after the tactical timeout, XSET looking to get aggressive over towards A. Asuna will read this. Nitro down to make sure he can get out safely. But XSET have at least gotten some position on the forward side of pipes.
They have Asuna, though, kind of breaking down some of this utility. Hit up a huge amount, though. No stage to heal him either. Gonna have to find a kill and heal off of an orb to get some sustainability, but not gonna happen. He gets taken out by Pure. Attack comes rolling in. Viper spit delay also, but Ethan gets a big frag.
The paranoia's going to slow things down, but nobody checks the left. Pure going to find one. It's not clean, so he does not find anything beyond it. But still, the numbers will prevail. Second attempt, but Hiko turns him aside. 3v3. Ethan still inside this Viper's pit. Down to a single point of health. Shot darts pushing around Aaron. He gets completely caught off guard. Zekin will get there for the trade, but this is a 2v2 where 100 Thieves have actually once again dropped the spike carrier.
And took care of the Viper's pit.
Now Nitro, waiting for Hiko to line things up. Holding on to this recon bolt.
30 seconds left.
And there it goes. Nitro not going to get too much information off it, but still peeks anyways and catches Zekin again off guard. Just up to BCJ. He's pushed back off of the spike initially, but still collects this. 15 seconds, goes for the plant. Nitro's got just the poison cloud left. Gonna see the information. A couple of shots will tag. Hiko comes forward. Nitro there peeking with, and there will not be a double up. Nitro clutches again, and that will be 100 Thieves on 8 early.
Yeah, I like their use of that utility because Nitro basically ensures he's going to take at least some damage to pick the spike back up, and Hiko's recon ball ensures they didn't leave with the spike. So just really smart team play there between two very experienced tactical FPS players. Both having a lot of success in the NA Counter-Strike scene. Now make their way over to VALORANT, uniting. Were teammates for a time as well on Team Liquid in CSGO for a few years. So familiarity there, and it plays into that. These up 8-1, low buy yet again for XSET, a Guardian, a Spectre, and a Bulldog all having to come into play here. Res is available. Zekin's one away from a Showstopper. BCJ one away from a Hunter's Fury, so they're close to having some big weapons, but don't quite have them yet.
Yeah, this is a force buy situation. They've almost zeroed out their economy in full. Hiko reading some pressure, just tosses out one Hunter's Fury dart. Not going to find anything beyond it, but Aaron sneaking mid-map. He's heard some footsteps. Opportunity for one. Oh, it's not all that clean, though. Hiko turns and finds the instant trade, and XSET have not really gained a lot of space moving forward as of yet.
It's been a couple of times they haven't been able to take advantage of, like, them getting the jump on someone.
Taking advantage of the forced play from XSET, 100 Thieves have cleared the backside of A ramps. Ethan just trying to stall off time. Aldrone coming through as well, and Ethan again finds another elimination onto Pure, who cannot cleanly find a free kill, so you would think. And now Austin on the back. XSET is completely trapped up. Information coming off the dart. Clear will come through. Nitro is still a part of this as well. Asuna up top, still more hijinks and hilarity coming out of the ropes play. And 100 Thieves put it on the 9-1, but XSET are going to have to go into a save here into round 11.
Dude, Asuna's DMing right now, dude. He's just running around, having a field day. Man can't be tamed.
You're done.
It's just like after his performance versus V1, you think, all right, that's it. That's the pinnacle.
I have never seen a more confident duelist than Asuna.
For real.
The guy just... I mean, he's a pretty quiet-natured guy when you talk to him. You know, very reserved. Not, like, introverted, but, you know, just kind of a reserved guy. And the guy just... His style of play, though, is completely opposed to that. Yeah. And also his mentality is great. I think one of his, like, coaches put out a quote where when he had that 48-kill game, he's like, well, I lost 24 duels, though. I mean, he's always looking to be better.
Dude.
Down B.
Aggressive peak again. I have to beg your pardon. I thought the economy was a lot lower than it is actually for XSET. Their full loss bonus allows them to get a full purchase into play. But nobody can get through Asuna. Finally, it feels like Pure is the only player who can deal with them. So now Aaron trying to work the spike forward, but 100 Thieves still holding on to yellow. And they're not letting it go. It's just down to Aaron now, able to find Nitro, but this would be another 1v3 situation. Not going to find the elimination. And 100 Thieves through 11, up 10-1. And this has been absolute domination from start to finish from 100 Thieves defense.
Well, they're absolutely having their way with XSET right now. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's really no other way to describe it. There's really nothing positive to pull away from XSET. I mean, they've had a couple of, I guess, 3-on-3, 2-on-2 type situations. They've forced a couple of retakes out of their opposition, but I mean, just nothing really to hold on to consistently. They look lost. They took a tactical timeout. Didn't get much from that. They just can't seem to break through. Even if they get some initial map control, they can't get those key duels they need. Or even when they get the jump, they can't capitalize. They get away with it sloppily, so they wind up just in a 4-on-4 with still really no space gain. So it's just been a tough ride so far here for XSET.
Fake kitchen coming through. Second the first one forward. Steel trying to deal with this. Ooh, able to find Pure. Knives going to be unsuccessful. Second response, not just with one, but finds the second. And the spike will go down pretty quickly, but Hiko playing over through the Raptors, able to find one in response. So once again, 100 Thieves, even in some sticky situations, have done well. Asuna coming over towards the top. Def deals with him. That very well could be the kill that may confirm a second round here for XSET. Ethan and Hiko trying to work this together. No paranoia, just a recon bolt, but Ethan has just walked on in towards the containers. Def would be the next one to contest, but Hiko deals with him. Opportunity now for 2v2. XSET playing this one safely through green. Hunter's Fury going to be in the play, and Aaron stops Hiko's initial charge. Aaron trying to stick for this, but has to dodge through snake bites and Hunter's Furies alike. Time now a problem. He finds the first elimination. Going to have to try to stick for this, and BCJ will push him off. That will be the second round for XSET.
Yeah, finally, at the end, they get one more through, but it hasn't come a little too late. Only 2 rounds on the attacking side of Icebox. That's just not going to be enough, especially when you consider the fact that 100 Thieves on Icebox, near 60% attack win rate. So, but the hard part, long yards are already accomplished defensively. I mean, it's not going to take them much, especially if they win pistol.
And looking back at the round that they had, XSET, I mean, here against Sentinels, they only took 3 offensive rounds, but their defense kept them in the game as they found 8. They did start defensively, though, yesterday, so I believe they did at least. Regardless of that, I mean, this is going to have to be an immaculate display. It's really what I'm getting at here for XSET when it comes to the defense. So have to win the pistol if you want to have a chance at it, and then beyond that, perfection is required.
Not looking good for them. That's an understatement. Well, we'll see. See if they can somehow put a stop to 100 Thieves. We're looking to just knock on the door of A. And, well, let's knock in more barrage.
Through that. On the way in, BCJ trying to stay alive. Asuna trying to chase him down, but BCJ actually does get out of dodge. Nitro is not confirmed for the plant yet. Now he'll go to stick for it. And 100 Thieves looking to set up their post plant, largely just kind of in and around Raptors. They're not playing this one passively, and Pure's actually going to capitalize on a first blood. Opportunity to maybe clear some space off the paint shells for XSET, but I don't believe it actually fully got into the site. So that's not great news overall. Asuna up top, finds some damage, no kills. Ethan down low, looking to take place, finds one. Caught under the reload. Asuna comes to help out, and well, Asuna comes to help out. I think that's pretty much where we can stop the phrase. 3v2. BCJ does find a couple of kills, but Hiko and Nitro are in really good spots to try to stop this.
Yeah, shock dart's coming in just the right time. It's going to stop that diffuse. Maybe got halfway. Indeed, it did, but just, I don't know about the time.
Not going to be good.
Matter.
Yep. Jeez, dude.
Good night, sweet prince.
Pretty much.
This is such just a tone shift.
Dude, for real. I was just about to say, I mean, there's not a lot you can look at here outside of maybe a couple of follies in the post plant from the first half for XSET and say, you know, they're just getting smacked by Asuna. That's really how this one's gone down.
Yeah, well and truly getting clapped. Been one of the most one-sided games I've seen all stage long. Especially considering the context of where we're at in the bracket, what teams we have in front of us.
Here, though. Nice first shot. Poison Cloud will actually be in a position to push him off this angle eventually. But the force buy, as you would imagine for XSET, if you want to win the game, it's the right call. Or even have a chance at winning the game. Those double marshals, but a judge, the Spectre with the Sheriff. But Asuna on this rope, dude. I have never seen somebody get so many kills off that rope through A.
Yeah, he is feeling mega comfortable from that position, it seems, on both sides of the map. They have another 4-on-4 plant coming their way. Boombot comes in, not going to get there quick enough to stop the defuse, but it does get the pick on Ethan. And so now they have a 4-on-3 retake ahead of him. Maybe a chance here to make something happen.
Well, opportunity, but you got to still get through all these rifles. Asuna gets a good read. Lear comes down. He does get tagged. Hiko down low. Good for one. Asuna helps with the second. BCJ trying to stick. Not even going to get it to halfway, I believe, as Hiko does get the elimination. Just down to second and T, but still, regardless, 100 Thieves on 12, looking primed to take the map.
Yeah, and that's just the power of being able to hold on to your shock darts and snake bites and, you know, confidently get the site and be able to play back, no threat of a flank. You could just keep popping that utility on the spike and just make it almost impossible on top of the decay from the cloud. to really ever safely get that fuse off. And I mean, they're just getting out-dueled man for man, like heavily. I mean, if you take a look at the scoreboard and you see the frag distribution differences, it is astounding how much better 100 Thieves have played. And just, again, a completely different story to what we saw in Haven, which was just down to the wire. This will be the most one-sided victory 100 Thieves have ever gotten over XSET by a large margin.
Oh, for sure.
Every other game, XSET got at least double digits.
Just a perfect storm, it feels like. But how about this? A little bit of aggression through A. BCJ over towards the B side does well to find one. Aaron wants to deny the plan and hold on a second. XSET are absolutely running through this round, and it all starts with the play through A and BCJ hitting the Marshall shot.
A confident round from XSET, a rare occasion. That's definitely their first flawless victory, I feel like, throughout this one.
Oh, absolutely. There's only 3 victories to go off of.
Yeah, pretty small sample size, and you do feel like that's going to be just like a faint whimper on the way out into the night. But see if they can build off of it. See, that's like the first step. It's going to be a huge ass, though, to win, what, 8 more in a row to force an overtime? That would be 9 more, excuse me. So 10 in a row total. This one should be an easy time, though. 100 Thieves, knowing that they have a lot of breathing room, we'll just take a save here. So very likely we'll see at least 1 more round after this.
Looking to stay aggressive. Offensive toxic screen just coming right down the normal traditional spot over through A, but how about BCJ and Aaron also showing some aggression mid-map, and the kills, again, coming through very nicely. Even BCJ getting the reload off to find the headshot onto Steel. I mean, not much lost there for 100 Thieves, but the good news is a lot gained for XSET when it comes to helping build up the economy a little bit more safely.
Oh, absolutely. Next big test for XSET comes here and now, as there should be a full buy available for 100 Thieves. Indeed. Op on this field for Def instead of Pure, so that he can anchor B side and they can have a more heavy A defense. I like that call.
Yeah.
They know they've had their struggles dealing with this fast A play of 100 T, so reinforcing with the 3rd player in a Viper spit could be the answer.
Looks like 100 Thieves are going to respect the play through Viper's pitch. Still looking to get over at least towards where the ultimate orb has been placed, but how you take this, I think, is the bigger question all in all.
Especially with no ults. I mean, you have to just rely on base utility and just finding a pick, perhaps, which, I mean, they've been able to get those pretty easily off the back of Asuna. But yeah, definitely gets harder with the Viper's pit.
Pure finds one. Gonna grab the second as well, as Asuna was trying to double peek with Steel up top on the ropes. But Ethan does at least find a response. Beautiful shots actually coming through onto Pure. So the play could possibly still stay alive. The thing about it is you really need Hiko to find a lot of information off of a recon bolt if you're going to clear out this space at A.
Yeah, they're starting to, make sure they're not getting flanked. They put out a smoke middle. They're trying to, maybe instill some doubt into XSET. They might be backing off. The problem is Def has such a forward position on B, and they have mid covered here by BCJ. They can just feel pretty confident holding these players in position on A side. As I say that, though, Zekin does start to rotate out to middle a little bit in his own right. Aaron, though, still has a Viper's Pit in play. Alt's going to come in to get on the rafters on the opposite side. Or actually cancels, just getting information instead. Gets paranoia onto Aaron. They're going to start coming in the pit.
This corner is so good, though, for Aaron. Finds the first, cannot respond to Hiko for the second. So now Zekin, the next one in, is going to have assistance by way of Aldrone from BCJ. Gets a tag off onto Ethan. Here comes the player on the corner. Zekin does not win the gunfight. 100 Thieves will get this plant off. Shot cart making life a little bit difficult, though, as it just comes down to Hiko for a 1v2. One shot card to play with, but both players run the back. Finds the first, gets the second, and Hiko with the Red Bull clutch gets 100 Thieves the win, and that means we will see map number 3, but not before we appreciate this double one last time. We'll send things to break, give you the breakdown, which is really just the Asuna show when we come back after this.
Never give up. The snow.
Welcome back there, friends, and we'll say this much. Icebox, really just the Asuna show, and throughout the map, may have also just been able to submit his audition to the Greatest Showman as he does his best the Zendaya cosplay and trapezes through the ropes and rewrites the stars on this series. I mean, this whole replay could just be an Asuna package in my mind.
Yeah, very well could be, especially if you're just talking about the first half. I mean, he had, what, at least 17 or 18 frags in the first half alone, just absolutely shut down anything that came his direction. Nitro also having a really good time of it, anchoring that B side of the map defensively as well. They were just a brick wall that was only punctured twice the entire half. Just such a dominant display of defense here from 100T on Icebox, keeping the series alive after a close loss on Haven. And yeah, Asuna, Reyna, Icebox, deadly combination.
23 and 11 for Asuna. 4 assists as well, just give him that. But, you know, for XSET, that's just one that you just have to say, all right, you know, golf clap for Asuna. He just absolutely popped on us. You also talked about the fact that Nitro has his own ace, Ethan clutch in a number of situations as well. Really not a lot required out of Hiko and Steel throughout it because all the kills were done before you even needed the utility to come into play. So, I mean, there are the stats across the board there, but realistically for XSET, you shake that one off and you turn your attention forward. Just credit to Asuna throughout the entirety of that map. I mean, he just took over.
Yeah, it's just kind of a speed run, wasn't it? I know Awesome Games Done Quick is having their summer competition. He could submit to that as well if he so chose, based on how he ran that first half. So just the way it is, the way the cookie crumbles. But now we have a set coming up next, and that should be a fun one. It's a map that both teams play a solid amount, though I will say we've only seen it played a couple of times by X since they've made such a big roster change, and they've had mixed results so far throughout this stage on Ascent. Had a big win over Rise, but had a close loss to Dark Zero, and you know their pass is just usually pretty good on it. It's a map that I think a lot of former CS players feel very comfortable on because it kind of mimics some things they're used to seeing from Counter-Strike maps. And then when you look over at the 100D side of things, I mean this is really a bread and butter map for them. I would say outside of Haven, and I guess Icebox is probably next in line as far as their map pool goes, as far as like success rate. Very strong defensively in particular, and it's kind of a trademark of this team. And we can talk comps and numbers a little bit later, but I would say that coming into this, 100 Thieves certainly are the favorite team on Ascent if you just look at that in isolation. And based on kind of the overall series and the fact that they've beaten this team before in a best of 5 a few months ago, or some of this team, I should say, they definitely come into this looking like the team that probably should win the series now. And it's not just because they blew them up on Icebox. It's just kind of taking the series as a whole because they also played, some pretty good moments on Haven as well.
The interesting thing, too, just before we cut to break again here, before we get into map, is to also kind of note out some of the differences in how these teams compositionally play. Obviously, the difference in smoking unit was going to be the key, as you've got Omen still coming out for 100 Thieves, Asher still coming out for XSET. But for XSET, they've actually, when they were playing up against Rise, we had a chance to commentate that game. They still brought the Sky into play, where you have to feel like 100 Thieves is still going to trust that the Sage will be there. So thoughts on maybe those differences as far as that kind of secondary controller, if you want to call it that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you probably pretty much nailed it spot on. Like, this is also that map that you're probably going to be seeing the Phoenix come out for Asuna as he continues his rotation of Duelist. So, yeah, I don't think you'll really see too much change as far as kind of the concept we're used to seeing. Again, it's that pivot from Zekken on the Sky. That was his first time playing Ascent with Sky against Rise, and it worked out really well. And obviously, he looked strong on Haven with Sky throughout several different games, particularly the 2 matches they just won against Sentinels and 100 Thieves. So I don't expect anything will really change too much. You had some different philosophies on an agent here and there, but other than that, again, I think 100 Thieves is looking like the favorite coming into this. But XSET, still a very powerful team, still could challenge here on Ascent.
Very well could. Again, we're still dealing with our final 4 squads. This is our upper bracket finals. Winner, of course, makes it to the Grands. Loser will have to wait for the winner of Sentinels and Envy, which will be coming up immediately after this in the lower finals, just beyond. So that's what the schedule looks like for today. Again, just not really much to break down for map number 2. So we'll send things off to another break. And when we come back, Agent Select should be ready to go for us on Ascent. Map 3 between XSET and 100 Thieves right after this.